Hey gang, welcome to Graveside Entertainment's podcast. We are here with Noah Polston on episode 3. Noah is a masterful shredder, ripper, awesome guitarist, and he brings the riff of madness to us with his bands Cyadine and Jesus Wept. Welcome to the podcast, Noah.
Dude, thank you so much for having me. I'm sorry we had to reschedule, but I'm glad we got around to it quick.
No problem, man. How did the car troubles go?
Dude, I'm staring at it. I just put like $400 into it. I needed a whole new like housing for my which I'm not a car guy. I'm not a car guy. The coolant housing that like had cracked and broken, so my engine was overheating a bunch, and I had to get that taken care of because they don't run if they're not if they're overheating. So
Yeah, you got to keep him cool, man, for sure.
yeah, but that was it's never ending with cars, so it kind of is what it is. But and it's over now.
Especially as a musician, right? Because you put all the money into the gear, and the car is kind of like, well, it doesn't really matter that much. It's just there to haul the gear around.
100%. But then all the miles you're putting into it with all the gigs and practices and stuff, and out of states. So they get beat up.
So tell me, you guys, you just did a studio record with Jesus Wept. Is that the first one with the band that you guys just got out of the studio on?
That is the first full length. It is not the first release or anything, but yeah, it is the first record that the band has ever done. I'm only saying that because this band started in like 2017 and I just joined a couple of years ago. So they've put out stuff before me, but this is the first full length record. Yes.
So what was that like being in the studio? Like, how long were you guys there? Where did you record it? Tell me a bit about that kind of stuff.
So yeah, we did it at this place called Bricktop Recording Studios in Chicago with this gentleman named Andy Nelson at the helm, producing and engineering and all that sort of stuff. But it was great. That was my second time recording at the studio. Cyadine did our upcoming record there a couple years ago, actually. And it's just taken that long for, lost a singer, got a new singer, re-recorded the vocals, all that sort of stuff. So, but that was the first time I worked down there with Andy a couple years ago, and we hit it off immediately. And he's a great guy. The studio itself is fantastic. He does like all the bigger hardcore and death metal stuff, like 200 Stab Wounds, and I'm drawing a blank. But anybody who knows anything about hardcore metal, knows Andy and stuff. So yeah, we stayed at an Airbnb in Chicago and tried to find nightlife when we could. The area we were in was not very open to that, I suppose. I was talking to someone the other day, and they told me we were in the wrong areas, but we were just trying to buy like beer at like 1 a.m, and the gas station like didn't have it, or like they weren't selling it. We had to go to like some weird like Mexican restaurant / liquor store / but it was cool. It was cool. That was really long-winded, but it was amazing, and it came out great, and we had a really good time. And yeah, we're gonna start shopping it here pretty shortly after we get it mixed and stuff. So
What kind of gear were you guys using in the studio for the recording, for like the guitar tones specifically? Are you using Neural DSP for that as well, or using amps, or what?
So I did not use my quad at all. I wish Robbie was on this call, the other guitar player, because he's the gear guy in the band. But I can tell you that the most of the rhythms were done from a carcass IR from like necroticism. So it sounds pretty damn similar to that. And then as far as leads went, I know Robbie went through the trouble of making sure we recorded in true stereo, which is sick. But I think, Mark, I can't even tell you.
Was it a tough process, like doing all the guitar work, lots of different takes and stuff? And like for the leads, did you have them already written out and mapped out, or were you kind of just like giving her and winging it when you got the track? Or
So half and half. Some of them were already written, and some of them, like a lot of the times too, I will kind of just rip, and then there'll be like a main part, like the humming part or the part you can whistle, and then I'll keep that, and then the stuff around it I'll kind of change. But this time we actually flew over some of the solos from the demos because they just worked so well, and we just had like the the raw, like, actual track, and we could reamp it, in post. So we'd fly those over. But the process was long because we tune in B, like I said, and for the longest time I was using paper thin picks,
Oh,
and I switched recently. Actually, I say recently, it's coming on a couple years now, probably, or maybe a year and a half. I don't know. But I switched to 88s, and I was using 50 millimeters before, like the Dunlop
I was going to
88
say Dunlop
Performance.
Tortex ones.
Yeah, I'm using those now. So combine that. What I'm getting at is my right hand is I have a really, really, really aggressive right hand. Not even to brag, I just like play hard because it's just what I like to do. Um, it was going on a tune like crazy, knocking it the
Even
fuck
with the
out.
Floyd on there?
Yeah, it was in B, like I said, and I don't know if they weren't this, like, sometimes you gotta really set up Floyd's correctly and really stretch the hell out of them. I don't know if it was a case of that, but, we were having some tuning issues, so it was just a matter of me, like, lots of tuning in between takes and lots of me, like, just trying to hold my hand back and having, like, Robbie, like, this part, like, "You gotta do this. You have to do that one." But other than that, it was smooth. Like we knew the riffs and shit. It was just like making sure everything was in tune, and then solos kind of flew by. It was more or less fun. I was pretty solidly prepared, but I love having a song where there's like I didn't write shit for that. I'm just gonna go in there and rip it. And that's really fun for me because I love doing like improv and stuff. So it was kind of half a half and all of that, but it was not hard. It was all fun.
How do you go
So,
about learning the stuff if the other guitarist sends you tracks and whatnot that you need to play on? What do you do to learn the materials so that you're ready and you can jam it with them?
so usually, the way it works in Wept is if we have a whole new song, like either I wrote it or Robbie wrote it, and we'll kind of go over it at practice, and he'll just show me in person. But for the record, we had finished a few songs like kind of recently, and we were like, well, it's coming up, and Robbie, you wrote these, that we don't really have time for me to sit down with you, and so Robbie actually tabbed them out on a guitar like uh, tab interface. So, that was useful for that, but most of the time it's just us, like, either we're already there when we're writing it with each other or, just, "Hey, how does that riff go at practice?" So, but
That's
I haven't
beauty,
even been in
man.
the band long enough to really have more of an experience with it than just that. So,
You guys all live in the same area, so you're able to jam physically in the same
mhm,
space together and whatnot?
thank God, yeah, and that wasn't always the case. Chris used to live, like, 45 minutes from me, our singer. And then Robbie's always lived about 20, but Chris moved in a more general area. And then Cody, our drummer, lives like a couple hours away, but he literally plays drums for a living. So he's always out and about, like doing stuff. So we were able to catch him. But the three, like, um, and I guess you'd call us the nucleus of Wept because we like write everything and, kind of are the like creative minds and, strategic minds behind pretty much everything. So, I don't wanna say the main 3 because the other guys are just as important, but, the ones who write and shit, we're all together and we all see each other. In fact,
Right.
as soon as we're done here, I'm going to Chris's house and we're gonna actually do some shit for the record. We're actually quad tracking and doing just because we have time. So, just extra, ear candy and stuff, but yeah, we see each other very often and we're very close.
That's cool, man. That's awesome. And then is it the same situation with Cyadine as well? You guys live close and hang out and jam in person and stuff?
100%. We rehearse at Benny, our drummers. He's got, an apartment. It's kind of it's a sick situation, but it's kind of interesting. There's a building by us, it's 2 apartments up top. He stays in one, and his mom and his stepdad stay in the other, and then the building or, like, the bottom half of the building is rehearsal rooms that they've been trying to renovate to, like, rent out for local Michigan bands and stuff, but for right now, it's just been us for the last, like, 4 years there. So,
That's awesome, man.
slowly
So you can
working
just
on it.
crank it and go as loud as you want?
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. And then Dominic, our current new, quote unquote, new singer lives like in my neighborhood. So we
Sweet.
both bands are my best friends and we see each other probably more than we want to, but it's okay.
That's
we
beautiful,
want to
man.
see
How
each
how
other
did
that
you end
much.
up hooking up with all those different dudes in the bands? Were they guys that you went to school with or childhood friends, or you hooked up with them in the scene or
With Cyadine, I did not go to school with any of those guys. They moved in, and I was already friends with their neighbor, and I was about, like, 14 at the time, and they were like, "Hey, we're looking for, like, we're trying to start a band. You know any guitar players?" And this guy, Jason, was like, "Oh, I know this kid named Noah, and he sings too, have him come over and jam." And then went over, rest is history with that, pretty much.
Wow.
And then, with Jesus Wept, it's funny because, like I said, they've been a band since, like, 2017, and I remember, like, 2020, 2021, I'm in high school, like, in class or something, and then the guys in Sidearm are my age, the guys in Wept are, like, 10 years older than me, and this guy texts me, he's like, "Hey, man, we're looking for a guitar player in my band, Jesus Wept, it'd be kinda cool," and I remember thinking, "That's the stupidest name I've ever heard for a band, Jesus Wept." And I was like, "No, man, I'm too busy." Because at the time I was in Cyadine and I had just left my other band, Absolute Anarchy, just to pursue Cyadine. So I said no. But then flash forward, like, I think 3 years later, little bit of context. I had known Cody since I was like 15, the drummer, because he used to play in an amazing Metallica tribute band called Motor Breath with his brother, Austin. And
Beautiful.
my old band, Absolute Anarchy, that I was just telling you about, used to open for them. So he
Sweet.
called me one day and was like, "Hey, man, like, we have a gig in, I think it was Indiana, and we need to fill in. Like, are you available?" And I was like, "Sure, dude, fuck it." And then we did the gig, and I met Chris, and we became like best friends like that day. And then over the course of that next year, we opened for Exodus in the Machine Shop a couple months later, which was awesome.
That's
And
crazy,
then,
man.
yeah, I met Gary that night. I got to
Nice.
like touch his guitars and shit. It was shout out Steve, his tech. Thank you for that again.
Was that still
Um,
when they had Zet in the band, or did they have Dukes in the band then?
this was with Zet. I
Nice.
got to see them with Zed a few times before Dukes came back. But
Sweet.
but anyways, long story short, I wasn't in for like most of that year, and then like by the like mid 2024, it was like, dude, let's just fucking like just join. So I did, and here we are. So yeah, that's
The
how that
band
all.
name Jesus Wept is cool because it reminds me of Pinhead from Hellraiser 3 Hell on Earth. That's what he
Hmm.
says when he goes into
That's
the
where it comes
church.
from.
Is it where it comes from?
Yeah, it's partly that and partly the suffocation song.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it is a Hellraiser reference.
That is cool, man. It's good. So speaking of references and like influences, what are the main death metal band and musical influences for both bands? You mentioned Suffocation for Jesus Wept. Any other ones?
Um, well, Carcass, obviously, we're basically a Carcass worship band. Morbid Angel, Deicide, Obituary, Cannibal Corpse, kind of all your big, meat and
Scott
potatoes
Burns
bands.
bands.
Yeah, of course, and like Malevolent, and
Yeah.
personally speaking, Massacre, and Baphomet, Sinister, Seance, all that, any of that kind of shit is right up
Sweet.
my alley.
That's a
90s death
good
metal,
blend.
basically.
Yeah,
Oh,
man. 90s death metal is
Gorefest.
it.
Gorefest is like my top 5 bands of all time almost. So,
Beautiful. And what
um,
about the influences on Cyadine? You guys like Exodus and Testament and things like that? Bay Area bands?
yeah, I would say I'm more so the thrash guy in the band. But me and Benny grew up listening to like Overkill and Anthrax and Slayer, and we both love Van Halen and like Skid Row and stuff like that too. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, Cyadine's got a lot of hardcore influence because of Benny. He's really into that. But like bands like Drain and Ingrown, and what else does Benny like? Benny and my bass player Shane really like Kubla Khan.
Okay.
Um, my singer is a huge new metal guy, but I like Seven Dust, dude. I love Snot and like Seven
Hmm.
Dust, and I love Slipknot, and but he's turned me on to like Incubus and shit. So there's like a big kind of like melting pot.
That's
Because
good,
we
man.
Misfits and uh Doyle, um,
You love Typo
Sodom.
Negative and Alice in Chains and all that good shit too?
Yeah. They love Typo. Everybody in my band likes Alice in Chains besides my bass player Shane, so we give him shit for that, like mercilessly.
As you
And
should.
yeah, and the rest of like he's the only guy who doesn't like grunge really. So it's funny. We'll have like a band practice and we'll warm up with like Heresy from Pantera, but then I'll kick in a State
Nice.
of Love and Trust.
Yeah, yeah, good old
Pearl
Pearl
Jam
Jam
song.
classic from
Yeah,
Singles,
so
man.
you're right, exactly, and then Shane's just standing there kinda like and I'm like, "Dude, I'm sorry." So,
The only
there's a
things that
lot
make
going on.
me do that are when people play like 90s punk music. Like when I used to jam with my buddies back in the day, my drummer was like a big punk guy, so he loved Pennywise and No Effects and stuff like that. And I
Okay.
can't do it, man. The vocals just are like ice picks in my ears, man. I can't
Mhm,
handle it.
mhm. I like some of that kinda, like, thrashy pop punk, though. Chris has been getting me into some of that, but I understand. I'm usually not a fan, so I get it.
I love the Misfits and the Ramones and Circle Jerks and you know Dead Kennedys and old school stuff, but
Fuck yeah,
the
dude.
90s pop punk bands, man, ugh, can't handle it.
I I understand. I understand. Chris, the singer from Wept, has been. I mean, he got me into like '90s gangster rap stuff. I never like Big L and Onyx and Tupac and like Biggie stuff I would have never listened to. And I was like, "Fuck, I like this." And
Yeah,
like
man.
Dominic showed me Incubus. I feel like the last couple of years, I'm really listening to a lot of stuff that I said I never would.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to be open minded, but I definitely get not liking pop punk.
Yeah, I love Incubus too. They're really good, man. And I mean, I like Deftones and stuff and
Mhm.
Soundgarden and all those bands. They're all classic, right?
They are. They are. Yeah. Good music is good music.
So
So
speaking of good music and good bands, what was the band and the music that got you into like, oh, I want to learn to play guitar. I want to pursue this.
I have a hard time. My gut wants to say Van Halen.
Yeah.
Eddie
Any
was.
particular albums of Van Halen, like the early stuff, like David Lee Roth era or Sammy or
It was definitely. I for the longest time I would never listen to Sammy era. I was raised on early Van Halen and like Metallica and Pearl Jam and Soundgarden, kind of like rock radio, to be honest with
yeah,
you.
yeah.
But like that's all foundational stuff. So but I gotta say Van Halen because I don't really remember a particular point, maybe the Wiggles when I was like jamming along to the Wiggles or some shit, but
Yeah.
no, I remember just my dad showing me Van Halen videos and seeing Eddie and just being like he's whatever that is, let me do that, he's cool, he's really fucking
Yeah,
cool.
man.
So I
That
yeah, it's
tone
hard
and
for me
that
to give you
playing that he
one.
has, I mean, his tone changes so much on different albums. Like if you listen to the old school stuff, like Fair Warning, you hear like his guitar tone on Mean Street. It's incredible. It sounds so good. But
It's
then even if
heavy.
you listen to like the later stuff with Sammy, he still has amazing guitar tone with all that chorus and phaser and all the flange and shit. It's
Yeah,
so
dude.
good.
Super saturated and stuff. The tone on Balance is actually my favorite, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
I'm a huge I will fight people about Sammy Hagar era Van Halen. I'm that fucking because okay, I started with raw stuff like everybody else. So and I never gave Hagar a chance. I always liked Hagar's voice. And then
Hmm.
when I was like 15, 16, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give this shit. Or maybe it was earlier than that. But once I heard 5150, I was like, why did anybody ever talk shit about this? This is amazing. And then I
Right.
heard all of them. I don't think there's a bad song that they put out with him or
I think
Roth.
I went back and discovered the Sammy Hagar Van Halen the 5150 era because of the amp, man. When that amp
Oh, no
came out,
shit.
and it was I didn't know what it was. Like I bought that amp when I was in junior high or high school, maybe 15. The first series of the block letter PV 5150, and it killed everything, man. At the time, like my buddies were playing through Marshalls and stuff, and I'm like, this amp has so much chunk and so much gain on it with no pedal, and it just sounds heavy and loud and awesome. And so I was like, this is Van Halen's amp. Like this doesn't sound anything like Van Halen.
Yeah, that's funny.
And then you go back and listen, right? And like Machine Head used that amp on Burn My Eyes. I think Fear Factory used it on Demanufacture. Like, and
That's
it's one
another
of the
band I
most
love.
famous metal amps ever, right?
Mhm, mhm. That Demanufacture, just to pivot on that for a second, what a record. I
Oh,
mean,
so good, man.
dude, Dominic got me into that. Um, but no, the 5150 is a goated amp. Um, and yeah, I kinda guess I also went back, technically speaking, because I all knew all the Roth stuff, but yeah, I mean, the whole thing I wanna say about the Roth and Hagar thing is they're both fantastic. Obviously, it's an opinion. but I don't know. I feel like people have just are too like they won't even give it the time of day because there's such big Dave fans. I'm like, you got to understand, like this is still the same exact band, and they're
right?
happier. Like they're not stressed out. There's not some
Yeah,
dickhead
they're not
telling them what to
fighting it
do.
at each other's
Yeah.
throats.
So
Yeah.
and I don't know. It's not like as tough or whatever, but and then
Hmm.
look at what does David Lee Roth look like today? What does Sammy Hagar look like today? What does one sound like? What does the other sound like?
Yes. Yes, definitely. Sammy has
Sorry.
endured the test of time, certainly.
Yeah, and I feel like it's because, like, what's inside of him is so good. Like, Roth's not necessarily a bad guy, but you've heard the stories and, like, just, what
Hmm.
he talks about. I mean, he's out there, man.
Yeah, he's pretty
So,
wild for sure.
he's lived a hard life.
He
So,
has. Yeah, that's the thing, man. Some of those old guys, some of their voices don't hold up as well as they used to. I know there's just I don't want to put anyone under the bus here, but there's a
no.
certain few of those old rockers that they don't sound the same as they used to growing up with them.
Mhm. Mhm. And I get it's reality, right? It's aging. It's gonna happen to everybody, and I get that, but guys like Steven Tyler and Hagar just set the bar, and Jagger too, just set it so high. It's like if you don't come close to this, I mean, it
That's a really
kind
good
of
point about
sucks.
Steven Tyler, man, because yeah, like when he put out that song that he did with Youngblood, that one that they
Mhm.
collabed on together,
Mhm.
I was like, I can't believe his voice still sounds that good, man. Like he is still prime.
Oh, I don't know if you saw the stuff about like he was having some throat problems and surgery and shit, right? Maybe a couple years ago, they had that big farewell tour they canceled. I
Hmm.
think yeah, I think his voice is still in his prime. His body is just finally now starting to, like, feel it because he can only do, like, 1 or 2 songs at a time now, I think. Like, because he did the
Uh,
Black Sabbath thing, but if you notice, he's only doing, like, a couple songs here and there, which is sucks, but he's fucking old. He's really old. And
yeah, he is.
he wore Cuban heels on stage and, his feet are all fucked from wearing heels and jumping around and stuff. I'm a
Yeah.
huge, 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 huge Aerosmith fan, like a freak. So,
He probably
um,
did a lot of bad shit back in the day too and didn't treat
mm,
his body like a temple.
up in like into the 2000s, didn't treat it like a temple.
That
Yeah,
much? Holy cow. I mean,
dude,
that's getting up there in age.
you'd be surprised at how many rockers just didn't stop until like within the last 20 years. I've even heard rumors that Richard still does like a little bit of heroin. Like I
Really?
don't know. I That's probably bullshit, but I don't
That's
know,
keeping
man.
him
Like
alive, man. Keeping him
and
topside.
maybe because I mean, and as the older I got and the more I like got into the industry and like talked to people who like knew idols or like loosely knew someone I looked up to, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, man, he's an asshole," or "Oh yeah, he's still on drugs." I'm like, "Are you fucking serious?" Like, so yeah,
That's wild.
it's crazy. Addiction's a hell of a thing. I mean, so.
The thing I've noticed with like lots of new bands, I don't know, like, can you comment on this? In terms because you're a younger guy
Mhm.
in a younger band, certainly compared to me and back when I was jamming, I think the scene is a lot different now. Back in even the 90s and the early 2000s, all the guys were like all about partying, getting drunk, getting high, doing all that stuff. And
Mhm.
then now you see lots of bands and they're going out for sushi dinners. They're all like doing yoga and looking after themselves. Like it seems like the scene has shifted so much away from that crazy party behavior. What do you
It
think?
I have a lot to say on that because um the scene here, if you can even really, I mean, for at least for the genres I'm in, is I don't want to say there's not really a scene, but I know it's just not what it used to be. Like when you were coming up in general, or like even 15, 20 years ago, it was different. But it just in terms of like how big the scene was and how connected everybody was and how much everybody knew each other and going out to shows and stuff. There is still that, just on a much smaller scale. But as far as, I mean, I can only speak for myself as far as, our scene and my people or whatever else the hell goes. I think there's like a good mixture of both. if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Because like all the guys in my band work out, but we also drink and smoke. So we party, but we're not like, you
Yeah.
know, I don't want to say we're not idiots about it all the time, but you know, we're not there's no needles, and we're not snorting anything and we work out.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, it's
So
just
we can
regular shit that everybody kind
yeah,
of does. Yeah.
more or less. I mean, maybe we go a little harder than the average
Yeah. You
person,
need to.
but
You're in a metal band.
we're in a
You
metal
have to.
band and Pantera.
That's right. Oh
Pantera.
shit, man.
If we even come close to that, it'll be okay.
Those vulgar videos that Pantera put out in the day, man, I was like, I don't even know how those dudes still made it. Like the amount
Yeah,
of booze and drugs they were taking in, I'm like, holy crap.
yeah.
Their bodies would have shut down eventually. Like they would have been just
Mhm.
like kidneys out. It's done.
Oh my god. Well, that Rex had to quit, and Phil,
Yeah.
went through what he went through, and if Dime wasn't murdered, I think I actually read somewhere that he was talking to Rita about like going to the gym and stuff like right before.
Oh, really?
So
Oh
yeah,
man.
yeah, tragic. But
And I mean, Vinny was eating good. They always
oh,
had like, big barbecues at his place and all the
mhm.
meats. And I'm like, yeah, man, that's how I'd be living too, but the old ticker can't handle that forever.
No, no, it can't. And I don't think he ever stopped partying, to be honest with you. Um,
No,
but it was never like those guys never went like Vinny never went to rehab.
no.
The guys in Anthrax never went to rehab. They just kept it under wraps. Not, I mean, that's a really interesting comparison because Anthrax was basically sober compared to Pantera. But when you brought up the
Yeah.
vulgar videos and
Like
stuff,
everybody was sober compared to Pantera. Maybe except
yeah,
Metallica back in the day when they were
yeah,
alcoholica.
yeah, them and like GNR and shit. But
Yeah.
no, the Pantera home videos, those that has a lot to do with it too. Like me and the Cyadine guys, we would hang out and watch that religiously. So
Yes.
yeah, yeah, we're gonna do Blacktooth. Yeah, we're gonna drink a bunch of beer. We're not gonna ruin our lives, but we're gonna party. Sorry.
So
You know what I
how
mean?
old were you guys when Dime got murdered at the El Rosa, like back in 2004?
I was I was, barely 1. Oh, wait, no, 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 no.
Jeez.
Wait, no. 2004. Yeah, I was barely 1. Benny would have
Yeah.
been 2. Dominic would have been 3, and I think Shane would have been 3.
Nice.
So we're
See, I
all
love that, man. I love that you guys took all that Pantera from the 90s and just, still influenced by it, love it,
you know
went back and you're carrying it forward and writing tunes that, they, like I was saying to you before we started recording, like I can hear Dime's influence in your playing. I can hear it in your riffs and in your leads too, the way you play. And it's
Thank
so
you.
cool, man, that like younger generations like you guys are kicking ass and still carrying that forward. It's awesome.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. It's I don't know, man. I mean, we just, when we were really young, we all heard it when we were like Pantera and stuff when we were really young, and I didn't even know Diamond died. Like, I think I was, like, 12 the first time I heard Pantera. My dad gave me, like, an iPod Nano, and it had all bunch of different shit on it, and I was like, "Dad, Pantera's, like, the sickest band, like, can we go see them?" And he was like, well, you know, a long time ago, Dimebag was shot and stuff, and I was fucking like, I remember crying when I found out, and
Yeah,
then
man,
just
that's a heartbreaker, like getting into
yeah,
it and not knowing. That's awful, dude.
and that Dime and Pantera were just the band that kinda, like, just grabbed me by, like, the soul and was just, like, this, like, energy and just how good they were as a band and, like, the funniness of those home videos. They felt like friends of mine already,
Right. Yeah, you could just hang
and
out with the dudes and party with them, right?
yeah. Yeah, and it just was immediately like, you know, seeing the Pantera home videos was like, "That's what I wanna do." Not to that, necessarily in excess, but, like, tour and have fun with your bros and, just fucking live life and have a great barbecues, have fireworks, have a great time.
Yeah, man,
Um,
that's what it's about.
yeah, 100%. And I do wanna say too, like, and I know I glaze Pantera a lot, I talk about him a lot, but we are not, there is more to Cyadine than that. Not that you were saying that, but I just didn't wanna come off like we are a Pantera worship band, you know? Which we are, but
No,
like
no,
I said
certainly not. No, like
go ahead, sorry, there was a delay there, go ahead.
you guys have tons of influence and tons of different layers throughout the band. Like
Mhm.
when I was talking to you before, and you know, I heard tons of melodic influence, like lots of Typo, lots of Alice in Chains. Like every song sounds like it could be from a different era and a slightly different genre. So it's nice and varied, man.
Cool. You think that and I really appreciate you saying that because that was definitely a conscious thing, because I don't like listening to records where it's the same song 10 times or, whatever, 5 times, whatever it is. But, yeah, typos in there and lots of thrash. I mean, Overkill and Nuclear Assault and, Vicious Rumors even, White Zombie, I came over, I didn't mention them, Rollins Band, uh all that stuff is very, very much a part of what we, and recently, and you'll hear it in the record I'll send you, and then the stuff they're writing now, even more death metal influence. So like Morbid Angel type shit and more thrash. There's more like Sepultura and Anthrax stuff.
Sweet.
We're still crossover, but we're drifting more into I guess our roots. Megadeth, of course. Megadeth was like
Yeah.
huge for like the first record my vocals are I just sound like I'm trying to imitate Dave. So, you know,
Sweet.
but yeah, so there's a lot going on for sure.
As far as your guitar playing goes, what do you think were like the first songs and solos and stuff that you learned to play when you were first starting out? Like the first solo that you nailed, and you were like, "Yes, I can do this. I love this."
Um, so there's technically two answers to that question. The first one I remember teaching myself was the solo from Like a Stone by
Okay.
Audioslave. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge Audioslave fan, huge Rage Against the Machine fan, and obviously a huge Soundgarden fan. So those two combined, that's like my childhood basically. But
Mm-hmm.
I remember teaching myself that on my acoustic when I was like 7 or 8 and
Oh
being
wow!
like,
So
"Oh,
you've had a
wow."
guitar in your hands for a long time.
Oh, dude, I started playing seriously when I was like 9. My parents got me like my first real electric guitar or whatever, but you can find pictures of me playing guitar or like a toy guitar at like 4. It's been a
That's cool,
lifelong.
man.
Yeah, it's been a whole thing. I was going somewhere with that. Oh, yeah. The first song I actually learned when I started taking lessons was Limelight by Rush, and
Really?
then the first
That's pretty
solo I
hardcore, man.
yeah, dude, I was
Rush.
yeah, well, that's
That's
probably
biting
one
off
of
a lot.
yeah, I guess it is looking back, but to be honest with you, that's an easier Rush song than the other ones. And then the first
Mm-hmm.
solo I remember learning all the way through, which is ironic because I talk shit about him all the time, was Fade to Black.
Yeah,
Yeah, like the
like
intro solo.
the
The
very
intro
first
solo.
solo. Yeah,
Yeah, not
yeah,
the last one, but yeah,
yeah.
it's a good solo, but I don't
It is.
you will never hear me list Kirk Hammett as one of my influences. Sorry, Kirk.
He was amazing back in the day when he was young, and he used to take lessons from Satch. But I think he's like, I don't need to get any better. I can just coast on being mid now because I'm a gazillionaire.
I think he phoned it in around, like, somewhere between Justice and Black Album. Somewhere in
Yeah.
between those 2, he just gave up because I mean, the solo and The Thing That Should Not Be is brilliant. Um,
Mm-hmm. Ride
then,
the Lightning has incredible solos, like the
there's a
song itself.
yeah, and there's a few solos on Justice that are fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just all the cliche jokes and the memes that are made about that dude. I mean, it's true though. Like, listen to any of the solos on
Mm-hmm.
72 Seasons or Hardwired or even Death Magnetic, which I actually love Death
Mm-hmm.
Magnetic, by the way. Um, he's just fucking playing the same shit over and over again.
I know that wah
I
pedal's
mean,
just cranking.
yeah, and I love the wah as much as the next guy, but
Wah's great, man. Like I love
get
Zach
off.
Wild, and that dude lives on the wah on the Rotovibe, but it
Mhm.
sounds amazing.
But no one's talking shit about him using it too much.
No,
So
because it's Zach
there's the
Wild, man. He
difference.
sounds like Zach. He doesn't sound like anyone else.
Right, right. And I guess Kirk sounds like Kirk, but it's that next question.
It's not pleasing to the ear all the time. But I love the
No,
dude because he
no.
loves horror so much, and he's just a
I gotta give
hardcore
him credit for
horror
that.
fan. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think like in terms of just interest level as a person, I would probably
Mhm.
like to hang out with him and chat with him because we'd probably be able to talk about a lot of the old school classic horror flicks and things that he collects.
I would I agree with that statement, and it makes me think a little more carefully about what I say with him, and because I do meet him and he goes, "Hey, man, I saw one day you said some shit." But you know what? As of right now, that's not the most realistic thing, but I would love to if he was standing right in front of me, the dude's a legend. Okay, I love Metallica.
He
I'm not
is.
gonna be a
Yeah.
dick to him, you know, but I would just talk to him about horror shit.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Exactly.
so
Yeah,
and he
he
does seem
he
like a
uh
really nice guy.
he does. He seems very nice, and I mean he he could have been amazing because, you know, going to Satch, like you look at someone like Alex Skolnick and holy crap, like that dude
Makes me wanna burn my
rips. Like,
guitar.
yeah, like he plays everything and it's so clean, man. Like even all the jazz stuff that he does, I'm like, oh man, like
Don't get me started.
effortless. He doesn't even try and it sounds like there's no mistakes coming.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. That is a true Alex is a true pro. That's a guy I'd love to meet him and pick his brain about jazz stuff because I love jazz guitar playing, but it is so, uh, it's hard. So it's so challenging for me. You know, anytime I can, dive into it deeper, like, I'm going off on a tangent here, but I love it's easier, more fun for me to do the improv side of it. The chord shapes and like, you know, reading the chords and stuff like that, and then like the sheet music and stuff. I was in jazz band in high school, but I always one day I'm gonna set aside a lot of time to go into that because I really do fuck with it and also try to the little bit of knowledge I do have on it, I try to incorporate it into the metal stuff. So
That's
hopefully
awesome,
that
man.
comes across as kind of the weird shit. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not anywhere near that sophisticated. I pretty much am the meat and potatoes. I love the pentatonic blues stuff and just regular chugging and some pentatonic riffs and licks over top of some rhythm guitars. So I love Zach and Dime for that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Alex's solos I love too. I mean, his solo on like Practice What You Preach is incredible.
Of course.
But even listening back to like Older Testament, listening to their Low album when they had James Murphy on there, he's
Great
fantastic
record.
too. Like
Great
James
record.
Murphy's one of my favorite death metal guitar players. He's so melodic and just so much feeling comes out of his playing.
Low is probably my favorite Testament song. It is fucking so heavy.
It
And
is.
I think my favorite Testament record is Formation of Damnation.
Yeah,
I don't
that was
that
when they kind of returned and came back.
Mhm. That was the first one I really heard, fully, and I was just like, "Holy shit." I mean, there's so many I feel like a lot of the '80s and '90s thrash bands, get overlooked for the amount of good records they've put out post Y2K.
Hmm.
Um, Exodus has put out a bunch of great ones, Anthrax has put out great ones. In my opinion, all of them. I mean,
Yeah.
name fucking Sodom, Creator, they've all done good stuff, but nobody wants to the true fans
Overkill
do.
as well.
Yeah, oh my god, I think they've almost put out too much music.
Yeah, they
They haven't
constantly
stopped.
cranking it out.
Yeah.
And Blitz still sounds amazing. His vocals are still killer, man. Like I know there's people that either love or hate Overkill, but I've always been in the love camp. I think Blitz sounds amazing. Just
I
so
haven't
incredible, like unique.
yeah, his voice has changed, but the range hasn't gone, and they haven't lost their authenticity or their balls. They're still a blue
Hmm.
collar New York that's why they put out so many records because 'cause they're blue collar. They just fucking bang them out, and,
Yeah.
they're kinda like the AC/DC of thrash metal to me in a way because of that, because a lot of their stuff
Yep.
sounds similar, sure, but it's still like, when they put out, their most recent record, I'm blanking on what the name of it is, it still scratched my Overkill itch. I still listen to it. It's still killer.
Yep.
So, yeah, they're, is it Bloodletting that came out in '03, I think? Check that one out if you haven't. It's like the album cover's white. It's almost nu metal, but it's, like, really heavy and just
Oh
cool.
wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah, It Lives is a really good one too. That one's got like super heavy guitar and it just grooves
Yeah.
like crazy.
Yeah, that's '97, I
Yeah.
think. But, yeah, from the underground from Jesus Christ, I can't talk on this whole thing. From the underground and so below
Yeah.
is the name of that one. But don't we could go down a rabbit hole here, Mark, I'm warning you, because '90s overkill. I Hear Black is like their grunge record, and
I
it's
Heard Black is so good.
perfect. It's a perfect record. The Killing Kind
Yeah,
is a
World
perfect
of Hurt
record.
is one of the best metal riffs of all time, man. That intro riff is killer.
Dude, okay. It's rare that I meet someone who understands. Um, are you familiar, like the record that came out in '96, Killing Kind?
Yeah.
It's got Battle and like Godlike and Burning Down to Ashes. I don't think they put out a bad record in the '90s, honestly.
No.
And then
And they always change guitarists. They had like Merritt Gant with them on I Hear Black, and he had
Mhm,
amazing guitar tone. And now he's
mhm.
like a guitar teacher or something. He does in his time, but he's not in the bands anymore. But frick, he was so good.
I didn't even know anything. I didn't know what he was doing now. But yeah, it was Merritt and Rob Canavino for most of the '90s.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's on a Horoscope, and you know how good Horoscope is.
Oh
Um,
yeah, it's good.
but yeah, and then the live album Wrecking Your Neck. Um, that set list is just so they picked all the songs I wanted to hear, and they just, and you could tell it's raw, and they just sound so tight, and they're so fast and pissed off, and I love Bobby's stage banter. I love his New York fucking like sarcastic, dickhead. It's perfect. I love it so much.
I haven't seen them live, unfortunately. I don't think they've ever been to Edmonton here where I am, but I would love
Really?
to go see Overkill. Yeah. They might have
Yeah.
been here once because, yeah, I think they have actually. Because I remember one of the guys in one of the local bands here was bitching because there's a wall at a venue here in Edmonton called the Starlight Room, and it's where all the bands that play there sign the wall. And apparently, when Overkill came, they spray painted the wall huge with a big, massive black Overkill
That's
on
awesome.
top of a bunch of the other bands, and so a bunch of people were upset about it. I'm like, it's fucking Overkill, man. They're
That's
legends. Like, you should
fucking
be happy to have Overkill at the venue.
yes. I would, if they could, Overkill can spray paint their logo over my band's logos any day they want to.
Hell yeah, they
Um,
could spray paint over anything of mine. I'd be cool with it,
yeah,
man.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Uh,
So,
where was
who are
yeah.
your favorite guitarists in metal? Would you say, like, if you had to, if I had to make you pick like three, the hard choice, who would you distill your influences and your tone and your style down to?
Does it have to be strictly metal?
No, it could be whatever you want, man.
It's probably gonna be metal, but you said three, and then that just fuck. That's a good question, Mark. Okay,
Three is a tough one.
Dimebag right off the rip immediately. Dimebag.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, I'm gonna go with Eddie, and then
Kirk number 3.
no, actually Rob Flynn. Um,
Yeah?
no, I'm
No, not Flynn number 3?
that was a bad joke. That was a reference to our conversation earlier. But no, I do like Rob. I'm gonna have to say, can I cheat and say Marty and Dave?
Yeah, combo,
Be-
yeah, like what, Rust in
because
Peace era?
yes, because that is what like Sepultura. Okay, hold on, let me back up. Metallica is what got me into metal. The first real like heavy metal, like brutal shit I heard was Chaos AD, the song.
Mhm.
And I remember hearing that and going, that right there, that's it. That whole thing. And then so it was like, then I got into Sepultura and Lamb of God and everything. But in Megadeth, of course, my dad showed me Megadeth. And I was like, who's Megadeth? And the first song I heard from Megadeth was Public Enemy #1, believe it or not, out of all songs for me to hear. Because it was around that time when that came out. And my dad's like, oh, he used to be in Metallica. And I was like, this is way cooler than Metallica. And then I just was like,
It's way
fucking,
faster.
yeah, right. And then I got
Yeah,
really into Megadeth. So rest in peace. Rest in peace and Cowboys from Hell. If I had to distill my guitar playing into two records, it's those.
those
Because I
2,
listened
yeah.
to those religiously and learned almost everything off Rest in Peace, and then proceeded to learn what I could. Because admittedly, Dimebag's a little bit more okay. He's as crazy as Marty, like technically speaking, but like I didn't even know how the fuck a whammy bar worked, So not only is he doing all the crazy shredding stuff, like what is that, and how do I
Yeah.
get that,
Yeah,
So
he used to have very, very innovative techniques and things that he did, and the cool part is like back in the day when he was a columnist for Guitar World magazine,
Mhm.
and he used to write his own column called Riffer Madness, he would
I missed
talk
out on
about
that.
how he did that stuff. Yeah.
God, I'm gonna.
So
You know what?
neat. It
Those.
was like, oh man, Dimebag's giving us his secrets, man. He's letting us see
Yeah.
behind the friggin' curtain.
Right. Right. And it's a bummer because I bet you those. I probably could find those online, but I have a shit ton of Guitar World magazines. But I bet you those ones with Dimebag's Colin on them are like a fortune now, probably. Right.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I would kill to read that shit. But
Those
yeah,
were pre-internet days too, so like you
I
couldn't look
know.
it up back then. You had to buy the
No.
magazine.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. But yeah, I'm gonna. It's gonna be Dimebag, Eddie, and then Marty and Dave. Dave,
Sweet.
I was trying to be him for a long time when I was a teenager, and then I grew up, and now I'm trying to be Marty.
Nice. Yeah, Marty's phenomenal, dude. Like he's so good, and the stuff that he did with Jason Becker back in the day is amazing as well.
Cacophony.
Like his cacophony stuff, or what's it called?
Yeah.
Cacophony. I always call it cacophony. It's
Potato,
cacophony.
potato.
Yeah, I'm Canadian.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that shit was cool, man. It was like so friggin' technical. It was like friggin' guitar pyro, man.
And Marty's solo stuff, like Dragon's Kiss, is a good record.
Yeah.
I don't really listen to a lot of solo guitar music because it's weird to me. I need vocals.
Yeah.
But I that's one I will listen to. That and Al Di Meola has a record called Kiss My Axe. That's pretty fucking killer. So
That's a great name
there's
for
another
an
one.
album too.
Al. Yeah. Oh yeah. For a guitar player album. Fuck yeah.
I haven't heard much of Al Di Meola's stuff. I know Zach Wild loves him, but
hmm
yeah.
It's gypsy jazz or not. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Django Reinhardt. Al is like kind of gypsy jazz, but he's more
Yeah.
just our virtuoso kind of bluesy, shreddy, jazzy, a guitar professor wearing a sweater, kind of vibe.
Yeah.
So,
So with your playing, like did you learn theory and do ear training and all that stuff as well? Did you do that?
not technically. I mean, not how do I put this? I took lessons for like 4 years, and that taught me like basic theory. When it comes to music theory, I like to say that you know how people say they like know enough of a language to get them in and out of trouble. I know enough music theory to get me in and out of trouble. So I know like the basics, and if someone says, "Oh, we're in A or A minor or go to the G," or this or that's pretty much all the terms. Now that I think about it, that bands use. But like I
Yeah.
know, I understand more in my head than what I could explain to you, if that makes sense. Because I
Yeah,
like
I think when
see
you're
the.
playing lead, you got to like learn the different types of scales and stuff too, and like whether you're
Mhm.
in like Mixolydian and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah. I know I use all those different things. I know that, but I don't, I couldn't always explain it to you exactly what's going on. Someone else could be like, "Oh, you're doing, diatonic on the whatchamacallit," and I'd be like, "Sure." And I
Right.
kind of vaguely get it, and sometimes I do surprise myself, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I know what that is." Um, but as far as ear training, I didn't do it, like, professionally or, like, through a teacher. I kinda just think that was me listening to music my whole life and trying to learn songs you know, trial and
Right.
error. So it just came
Yeah.
natural. But yeah, I mean, I think I have developed a pretty damn good ear just by virtue of doing that. So I was more or less self-taught. I had some help in the beginning, and then it was kind of like I didn't need any more gas in the tank. Like I was already just gonna figure it out either way.
Right.
So
Did your dad get you into metal and guitar and stuff when you were young? Because he was into the metal music and everything?
1000% yes.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
Um,
How old is your dad, if you don't mind me asking?
that's totally fine. He is gonna be 55 this year.
Okay, so he's
Um,
9 years older than me. So yeah, okay.
yeah, yeah. So my parents are about the same age, and that my dad got me into metal and guitar and stuff, and then my mom got me into horror.
Awesome. That's a good
Um,
combo, man.
yeah, and she got me into like Prince and Cameo and Gap Band and like Sade and stuff too. So I'm into. I got a lot
Sweet.
of yeah. But my
All the different
dad,
influences, man. It's all
yeah,
ingredients going in, making it nice.
yeah, and then my dad too. Got me into like Elvis and Johnny Cash and Gordon Lightfoot, fellow Canadian.
Cool, man.
And Billy Joel, and so I'm Eagles, like, I'm all over the fucking map, dude. You see the songs I post on my story, it's a different
Yeah,
genre
man.
every day.
Tons of the shit that I like, dude. Like when you're playing Pearl Jam tunes and stuff and singing, I'm like, oh, I like this too, because I grew up in the 90s listening to grunge music and love all that stuff as well. I was a metalhead into, Deicide and Cannibal, but I also loved Soundgarden and Alice in Chains and Pearl Jam.
And any fucking death metal guy who says they don't like grunge, just suck it, dude. You're wrong.
The singing in grunge is so good, man. Like,
It
honestly,
is.
dude, like, nobody is better than Lane and Chris. Those dudes are the top singers, man.
I agree, but I've been as you just mentioned, I've been in a really big Pearl Jam phase lately, which happens because I've been into Pearl Jam since I was like 10. But I never really gave Versus a fair shake. I knew Dissident and I knew, Daughter and like the hits and stuff, but I never heard Go, Animal, I never heard Rearview Mirror, I never heard
Elderly
Rats.
Lady.
Yeah, I never heard that. So when I heard, I was like, why did I wait so long, dude? Like the Verses, I've been listening to that like every day for like the last month. So
It was
fucking
a
beautiful.
hard follow-up because 10 was so good, man. Like,
Mhm.
honestly, dude, like, I remember being a little kid. I think I was in grade 7 or 8 when 10 came out in junior high, and we
What a
used to have
great
these
time.
video dances. So I think all within the same time period, within the same month, we had like GNR albums, like Use Your Illusion came out, and then we had Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar Sex Magic.
That's
We had
magic.
Metallica, the Black Album, and
Oh,
Pearl Jam Versus, and then Soundgarden, Bad
that
Motorfinger,
Motorfinger.
10 rather, from
Yeah.
Pearl Jam. Just so many good albums, all on cassette, of course, but it's like that's what turned me into rock and metal music. Was that crop of bands coming out then was untouchable at the time.
Faith No More too. That's when Epic came out, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and as I'm not a huge Faith No More guy, I've never really given them their due because I saw an interview a long time ago on YouTube when Mike Patton was at Download or something and Wolf
Oh,
Mother
he
were
was being a
playing, and he
dick.
was just shitting. He was just shitting all over them, talking about how crappy they sounded, and I was like, "No, dude."
Yeah, that's I saw that recently actually. It kind of bummed me out, but I fucking love like Midlife Crisis off Angel Dust. It's fucking such a good song. But I only brought them
My
up
buddy
because
Mike that I interviewed on the last podcast is actually like, he recommended I listen to Angel Dust. He said, if you don't like Faith No More, that's the album to start with and listen to. Let me know what you
yeah,
think of it. So I'm doing that right now for him.
there you go. There you go. But the reason I brought it up is because when you named all those bands, those early '90s, those tours, like Day in the Green and like the GNR Metallica tour, and what a
Start
fucking
of
great time for
Lollapalooza and
music.
stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that Lollapalooza '92 Pearl Jam video, how many times have you watched that? I've
Yeah.
seen it a million times. And then
Not
I
as
think
many as Pantera in Moscow, but a lot.
there you go. Yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
speaking of Pantera videos on YouTube, the one 92 at the Palladium in Hollywood, have you seen that one yet?
I don't think
Dude,
I have, no.
it's soundboard. It's soundboard and
Oh,
it's
wow.
oh dude, it is they are on fire. They are on fire. It's so good. But I could talk about Pantera bootlegs for years.
The
So
vulgar videos were so much of my childhood too in high school,
mm.
man. Like, I think that's all I wrote in my high school yearbook, grade 12. I just wrote, watch it go. And that was my quote for high school.
Marshall. I'm endorsed by Marshall. We do we quote that shit constantly or the full Val. Um
Just throwing fire on him and the turd
yeah,
burglar and shit.
yeah, dude, so bad. And then
Yeah.
Rex walking around, help, my penis is broke. He's got the yeah, great shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
and
I
then
still to this day when I hear like regular people conceit, I just think of boobs from the vulgar video
from
because
that,
that's
yeah, the
playing
like
during that whole
yeah,
scene.
that's not the worst thing, but we like I said, we smoke, so there's bongs, and every time I hit a bong, I'll go, God damn, got a hit off that bitch when Vinny's in the bus, and
Yeah.
yeah, so or
Even your
our
shirt, man, your band's shirt is a tribute to
yeah,
the Pantera weed shirt.
hmm fuck yeah, dude. Oh yeah, oh I thought you were talking about this one. Yes, that yeah.
So cool, man.
That was too good to pass up. And then obviously lots of drinking happened, so I also love saying was it no food tonight, only liquids, the doctor said? Something like that, Phil says? Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. Just Pantera
Uh,
dorks, dude.
Classic stuff, man. So good. I mean, I never got to see them when Dime was alive. They came and I had to work, so I was like, I can't go. I should have called in sick and went to see them. I
Yeah.
think it was on the Reinventing the Steel tour they came here.
Oh, because you're thinking they'll come back.
Well, and then Damage
Yeah.
Plan came, and I was like, I don't really like Damage Plan that much. They're not as good as Pantera. It kind of feels like rip off Pantera, so I never went.
Yeah.
And then, what happened like 6 months later, I was like, oh shit. And now I love Damage Plan, so I should have went to that too. My little sister went, and she's not really super into it, but she got to see Dime, and I didn't.
Isn't that fucked?
It is. Yeah, it's
do
a
you
black
like
market.
do you like Rebel Meets Rebel?
I haven't heard much of it. I don't really know a lot about David Allan Coe, but I've only really heard like Dime's solo stuff that he does.
Okay. Yeah, you should check it out. I love outlaw country. I'm not the biggest Coe fan because some of the things he did as a person weren't that great. But that record is fucking awesome. It's
He just
really
passed away, didn't he?
yeah, he did. He did. Um Highly recommend that though. The when I joined Cyadine, they were like, "You don't know Rebel Meets Rebel?" And I was like, "No." And I was like, it's literally like all the country bluesy parts of Pantera just amped up, but it's still very much Pantera. And then
Oh,
you got a
wow.
outlaw country singer singing over it because it's Vinny, Rex, and Dime with that
Oh,
David.
Rex was in it too? I didn't
Yeah,
know.
it's literally Pantera with David Allan Coe singing.
Oh, nice. I got to check that out.
Yeah, now you do.
And what about Phil? Do you like Phil's side projects? I'm a huge fan of Down. I love them. I think they're fantastic. I've seen them.
I'm a massive, massive, massive Down fan. I'm a massive Phil fan in general. I love
Yeah, me too.
Superjoint too. Superjoint's awesome.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a horror guy? Fucking, I think he literally has like a haunted house, basically,
He
right?
does, yeah, and he puts
He's
on like
had
the
them.
big haunted event at his place, and
Yeah,
like they record the Down albums in his barn there in the studio on his
yeah.
land in New Orleans.
I would, God, if there was like one place I could go, it would be that studio. Just the, I mean, the history of it. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm a
man.
huge Down fan. I love Down so much.
He was even in Necrophagia for a while with
Mhm.
Killjoy and stuff recording, and
He
that's
he
very,
played
very
guitar
horror
in that,
focused.
right?
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
he
weird.
did that "And You'll Live in Darkness" tune that was on the Beyond, the Lucio Fulci movie
Mhm.
that came out. I got it on DVD, and there was like a video for that with Necrophagia, and Phil was playing guitar on it.
I've seen that, and it's trippy. It looks really weird because
Yeah.
it's Phil in like his red vests and his fucking hair and shit, and I'm like, what? Because
Back
the
when he
only
used to look
video.
like Charles Manson.
Yes, right. And honestly, I love all eras of Phil and when he was in Pantera, but the early 2000s, like demented death metal Phil is like so sick.
It
When
is.
like the Soul Korea, when when they're doing like Suicide Note and stuff, and he literally looks like a fucking demon. It's like, dude, that's so tough.
Yeah.
Oh. Um, what were we just talking about?
Just the
I
love
was
of
gonna say something.
Pantera and Phil and all the good shit.
Yeah.
Pivoting
Yeah,
to
yes.
horror stuff, what horror stuff do you like that got you into horror movies? Because I know you have Art the Clown on your guitar,
Mhm,
which is super cool. What
mhm.
else? What else are you into horror wise?
I'm a big Hellraiser fan. I'm pretty much an 80s 90s slasher dude. And like Sleepaway Camp, like all three of those are fantastic. Killer Clowns, Pumpkinhead,
Oh,
People Under the
Killer Clowns, man.
Stairs.
Speaking of my childhood,
Yeah, I have a Killer Clowns hoodie that I wear all the time.
sweet.
Um, but I don't want to call myself a poser, but I love Michael. And I love
That's
Jason, and I
cool.
love
Yeah,
Freddy,
yeah.
and Texas Chainsaw is probably, like, my favorite franchise out of all of it, but my room is covered in, like, masks from those guys and action figures, and, I like Art so much because it feels like you probably feel the same way, and I think a lot of horror fans do. We don't really have any more good slashers, um, and so I think they're beating the horse a little bit at this point maybe, but
Yeah.
it's okay. I'll still go see it.
Yeah, I mean that's the truth. Art kind of feels like this generation's Freddy or Jason or Michael when we don't have them
Mhm.
anymore. The closest thing that came to that in the early 2000s, mid 2000s was like Victor Crowley from Hatchet.
Yeah. Mhm.
He was
Mhm.
awesome. That was like really good throwback 80s slasher stuff. But yeah, you're right. There's not a lot of it, man. And art's kind of raised up the ante and raised the bar, and it's his. Damien Leone's movies are so gory and just so over the top. The kills are, I mean, it's not even scary or terrifying because they're so over the top and horrific. It just becomes absolutely comedic, right?
Yeah, right. Which is cool too, but then also like that's kind of the 80s shit too, which is why I like
Mm-hmm.
it. Um
Yeah.
it's yeah, but I mean I even love like this is a little bit darker, but like stuff like Cannibal Holocaust and like Faces of Death. Like that. I
Yeah.
mean that so anytime there's like really gritty fucked up shit, I'm like, that's cool. But my favorite low key, my favorite like slashers might actually be like the Texas Chainsaw remakes in the 2000s with Arlie Ermey and Jessica Biel.
Right. Yeah.
Does
Those were really good, man.
For what they are, they're
Yeah.
super good.
They're super
I
good. Yeah.
I like the Rob Zombie remakes of
Yeah.
Halloween. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe not
No,
2.
yeah, I'm with you though on that one for sure. I thought Rob Zombie's Halloween remake was great because it has so much focus on Michael as a little kid. And that to me was like the scariest part, just how vicious and demonic that kid was.
Mhm.
That
Yeah, it
to me
adds
was
so
way
much depth to
scarier
the
than the
character.
guy with the mask, right?
Mhm. 100%. 100%. Um, and yeah, I mean, I like I said, like the kinda another horse I think he beat to death, but I think 31's great. Obviously, House of Corpses, Devil's Rejects, you can't go wrong with that, but as far as,
Mhm.
like, newer stuff, I thought Weapons was fantastic. And I really like The Black Phone with Ethan
Yeah,
Hawke in
Black
it.
Phone's good, man. The Grabber is a really, really cool new horror icon. And
I think
the
that's close to another, like, art, in a way.
yeah. And the second one, have you seen Black Phone 2?
Mhm. Yeah, I
It
thought
it
it was
went
a good
like Nightmare
follow-up.
on Elm Street direction, right? With like
Yeah.
him invading their dreams and stuff. It's like,
Mhm.
holy shit, are they gonna turn this into like a new Freddy icon?
I would be okay with that, and I
Yeah.
like I think it's different, where it was, like, cold and freezing, and they're, like, in ice and shit, like, that's not normally what you would, so,
Yeah, it's the
um
opposite of Freddy in the boiler room.
Mhm, mhm. So if they're doing that, if that's I mean, good on them 'cause that I'm I'll see every Black Phone movie that comes out.
Yeah, and I was so
So
surprised with the first one, man. Ethan Hawke is incredible as the Grabber. Like, who would have thought Ethan Hawke would be an amazing villain?
right? It's actually, like I remember leaving the theater after seeing that and being kinda, like, almost, like kinda fucked me up, because it was so maybe because the kids were involved, but it, like, hit home not that I ever had anything happen to me, but, like, it felt so real and so, like, my childhood, like,
Yes.
fears. I was like, "Wow, that was
I
like."
think that is so true, man. Like the way it was filmed and shot and the story of it, it honestly looked and felt like something that could happen to someone you knew just right in your
Yeah,
neighborhood.
and it did I mean, not often, but, like, it was a real thing, so it's,
Yeah.
it really took it to a whole level of, like, "Holy shit." And especially for, like I mean, you said you're how much older than my parents? Would you have been growing up around the time it was, like, set in?
When it was which?
When,
Oh,
like,
when the movie was set in the
yeah, because that was,
80s,
like, the
yeah.
'70s. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
so I was born in '80, so I grew up, like, in the '80s, and it was all, like, Freddy mania in the '80s, man, like,
Mhm.
Freddy Krueger was everything, and Jason too, but, yeah, I
Right.
mean, for me, that was the beginnings of horror for me was discovering, Freddy Krueger and, the Monster Squad and Gremlins and
Yeah.
Ghostbusters and stuff like that. That was the
Mhm.
beginning of it.
But I was asking because I was like, I mean, for you watching The Black Phone, did you, like, get that feeling of, like, it you just kinda said it, but, like, it felt like, "Oh my god, I could picture being
Oh,
there."
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
for sure.
wow.
It was yeah, and I mean, that's to an extent why I love Stranger Things as well, because it's like
Mm,
I watch Stranger Things, and it honestly feels like watching my childhood growing up with my buddies, riding around on our bikes and getting into trouble and coming home and stuff. It's
right,
very, very similar.
right, minus the extraterrestrial shit.
Everything was wood in the '80s, wood basements, red,
Yeah,
orangey carpets, flowers on all the couches, just wood
yeah,
everywhere. Everything had
yeah.
wood on it.
It looked cool for the time.
Yeah,
Um, but, that's very cool that I think that's what they're going for, and it's cool that it's, connecting in that way. Because nostalgia, I mean, no matter how old you are, nostalgia's nostalgia.
it is, yeah. What are
So
your earliest and most happy childhood memories of growing up?
Um, well, not shockingly, my parents and my dad showing me, like I forgot to mention Guns N' Roses too. That was a huge thing, seeing Slash. Slash could easily be a honorable mention for 4th guitar player, honestly.
For sure.
Um, but yeah, my dad showing me old music videos of them and learning how to play guitar, playing my dad's drum kit because I actually started on drums. That I don't know how many people know this about me on my, like, socials and stuff, but I kind of a I love playing drums. I'm a decent drummer. So I started on that, broke my drum kit, went back to guitar, but, I digress. Playing my dad's drums, um, basic, human stuff like going family vacations and stuff, but as far as, like, uniquely to me, um, playing the Star Wars Lego video game and playing guitar and drums.
That's funny.
Pretty
That was
much
going to be
it.
my next question. I was going to ask you, did you play a lot of video games growing up? Because that's my problem in my life. I started playing guitar when I was like 14 or 15, and I'm okay. I got to an intermediate level. I'm nowhere near as good as you are, and it's because of video games. Because I spent so much of my time and hours playing video games instead of playing my guitar and learning it.
Um, so no, I didn't really play video games. I mean, I did when I was, like, a kid, but it never got in the way of guitar. I remember quite often, like, playing a little bit of video games, then I play a little bit of guitar. Then I play a little more video games, and I play more guitar. It was just, like, what I did, and then, funny enough, I played a obscene amount of Guitar Hero. I loved playing Guitar Hero.
Oh yeah.
I was, like, really good at it, which is funny because most musicians suck, um, at Guitar Hero, and, like, I'll try to, like, play with my, like, bandmate stuff, like, "Dude, I can't do it," and I get why. It's because the notes aren't the same as what you're hearing, unless you're playing it
Right.
on expert, and then expert's,
Yeah.
ridiculous. So, but I understood that at, like, one point, and then I just kinda, like, kept playing to the point where I was at expert anyways, but once you get, like, "Okay, it's not gonna be in time, I literally have to treat this
Hmm.
like it's a," and then I got really good at it. But yeah, I mean, if I wasn't playing guitar, I was playing Guitar Hero. So, you kinda I don't know, I think I just have, like, just the bug of, like, just crazy about it, and it never really got in the way because I just didn't I wanted to play guitar anyways. But that was, like, much younger. Are you talking about, like, when you were older? Like, what age are
No,
you saying?
I mean, dude, I've been on video games since Mario came out in '85 for
Mm,
Nintendo. That was the
okay,
start of it, and here we are 40 years later still on video games. I still find games that I absolutely love, and the reason I do it is because it makes me feel as excited as I did when I was a kid, man. It's like still that excitement when you get a new game, like
mhm.
disappearing into a new world and doing a totally different story and making your own character and stuff. I love that shit.
Yeah, I'm a really big Red Dead Redemption fan, and I'm a really big Western and, uh history, like Civil War era, any of that stuff. So, when that game came out, it was like, "This is the game for me." So I've pretty much played that almost exclusively since it came out, but, I've also played Evil Within and Evil Within 2. I thought those were great, and then The
Yeah,
Last of
those are
Us.
good.
I finally started and finished Last of Us, like, last year, so that was fucking I'm sure you've played that, it's or
Oh
heard of it
yeah.
at least. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah,
So,
The
and
Last
he,
of
like
Us, the first one's incredible. Like it's so good and so imaginative, and
mhm.
the show that came out on HBO, they actually filmed a bunch of it in Edmonton here.
No shit, I didn't know that because I know they did it, I
Yeah.
haven't seen it, but what do you think about the show? Because 'Cause I've heard mixed opinions from people who've played the
Uh
game also.
I don't know, I haven't seen the second season, but the first season I watched, it pretty much followed the events from the first game pretty exact and spot on. So I thought they did a really
Okay.
good job with it. I don't know about the second season because I haven't watched it. I didn't love the second game of Last of Us. I just didn't like the direction they took the story and what was happening to main characters and stuff. But
Sure.
I'm assuming that the story from the second season would follow the second game
Right,
as well.
right. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen either, but I'm definitely gonna have to watch both of them. But, yeah, I mean, those are pretty much the only video games I play, and even then, it's like kind of sparingly, but I definitely get the like being distracted by the video games and then not, not getting to what you need to do or want to do or whatever. But yeah, I never really had there was never that conflict because I always just wanted to play guitar. I guess I just got lucky.
It's good, man, because when you look at your life and you're like, oh, look at how good I am on guitar. I learned all this awesome stuff as
Yeah.
opposed to I beat hundreds of games. I got all
Right.
these
Well, yeah.
achievements.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I hate to talk shit about people who did that instead,
It's still
because
time well
I get
spent
it.
as long as you're happy and stress free and
Yeah.
enjoying life. That's what it's all about at the end of the day.
That's what I'm trying to get to. Yeah, thank you. That's what I was trying to say. So, but no, I never yeah, I was distracted by other things as I got older, but, um, you
Things
know
that guitars lean into
yeah, or that, having a guitar increases
brings
the
you.
chances of yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
but that's all part of life.
It is, man. It's good experiences. So yeah, man, it's been awesome chatting with you, man. I'll definitely have to catch up with you and talk to you about doing those guitar lessons that we mentioned because
Dude, absolutely.
I need some accountability help, man. So you'd be like, hey, you need to learn this and you need to learn it by next week. So don't play video
Okay.
games. Just
Oh, you want me to
figure
be a
this
hard
out.
ass? Okay, yeah, I
I
got
need
you.
I need you to be the drill sergeant from friggin' Full Metal Jacket and hit me
Speaking
with
of
a
early
friggin'
army,
bag full of
yeah.
soap if I don't do it, you know?
You got it. I can do that, and yeah, man, thank you so much for having me on. I wanna do this again because I felt fucking scatterbrained this whole time because there's so
Oh, it
much
was
shit we
so
wanted to
good,
talk
man.
about.
So good.
But
Like
we're just
it's
getting to know each other, so
yeah,
next time
man.
it'll be a little bit more. But, but yeah, thank you very much. It's been a while since I've done one of these, so it was really fun to do.
Oh man, thanks so much for coming on,
Mhm.
Noah. And it's I can't wait to hear more of your band's music and your tunes. And yeah, we'll have to do another one because we've got so much more to talk about, man.
Absolutely. Sounds like a plan,
Thanks
brother.
again, man. It was good meeting you
Yeah,
and take care of yourself, dude.
you well. Talk to you
See
soon,
you, man.
Mark. Have a good night. Peace.
Thanks. Bye, man.